Hi everybody, welcome back to Mediocre Whiskey Review. I'm Jill. We're doing a new bottle today. Stick around. All right, I picked up a bottle today. I've seen this bottle so many times and I've never picked it up. I don't know why, but I picked it up today and that's what we're going to drink today. And it is the Barrel Dovetail. I've seen this every time I go into the liquor store. Watch I buy it. I don't know why. But I didn't walk by it today. I picked her up. They had the seagrass also. Didn't get the seagrass. I looked at the back of it. Barrel's very transparent about where their whiskey comes from. And it was the seagrass that they had, and I don't know what year it was from. I don't know. It was distilled in Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Canada. And the Canada's the reason I didn't get it. Haven't been a huge fan of Canadian whiskey. So I figured we'd go with this guy. He was not distilled in Canada. And I did pour me a little sip because I haven't had anything today. This is cask strength. So we got to get the palate ready for this. So while I am pouring, uncorking, all that, go like. We are not going to start with these hiccups again. All right. Go like, subscribe, comment. Do the things in this stuff. Pause for cork pop. That was very pleasant. Liked it. So I have been a big fan of barrel products for quite some time. And there's one product of theirs that I've had that I didn't care for. And that was the Barrel Gray Label, Barrel Dovetail Gray Label. It had quite a bit of Canadian whiskey in it, and it's just okay. And I haven't opened it since. I should revisit it. Not today. Maybe another day. So this guy, what I know about him, the label itself says whiskey finished in rum, port, and Dun Vineyards Cabernet barrels. It is 123.44 proof, distilled in Indiana and Tennessee. Now, I looked this up because I wanted to see if there was an age statement somewhere. There's not. It is a non-disclosed age statement and a non-disclosed mash bill. However, what I did see, and I don't remember who it was, but there was a reviewer, and it was an article. I didn't watch a video or anything. He had said that it was the whiskey from Indiana and Tennessee were rye whiskeys in this. I don't know if that's true. Part of me wants it to not be true. And the other part says, bring it on. Let's do it because we're not scared of rye whiskey anymore. So that's what we have. That's the information I have on it. I got nothing else for you except we're going to see how it smells and how it tastes. I've heard nothing but great things about Barrel Dovetail, and I have no reason to have never gotten one. So I don't know why I haven't. And what was in this glass right here to warm my palate up was Barrel Foundation, which is their low proof, their distillate, and it's fantastic. So I figured I would use a barrel product to prepare myself for a barrel product. This seemed fair. Having just opened this, and then we also have to remember I failed as a whiskey person today. This was in my car, and if you're in Indiana, you know that it is freaking cold here right now. So it got rather chilly in my car, and I'm not a fan of cold whiskey. I don't care for it with ice, and I don't like it refrigerated or frozen. So part of me while I like warm it up. And I'm not pulling much off of the nose, which for 124 proof, I feel is insane. I should be getting something. So we're going to warm it up here. All right. I wish that I were a good enough editor that I could play that back in slow motion, but I'm not. But I spun it and it just went everywhere. Let's regroup and try again. So on the nose, I am getting a little bit of oak. And I so wish I could have found some idea of an age statement on it. But that's okay. Beryl said no. Said you can't have it. I'm getting lots of vanilla, cherry. I'm going to say cherry again. I got cherry on something else the other day. And that's very not typical for me. Cherry. Vanilla, brown sugar, caramel, cherry, oak. Overall, a beautiful nose. It has a beautiful nose. And the legs, I done messed around, and there's fingerprints on my glass. I don't like it. I'll try to do this and not spill it again. That's better. Anyway, the legs on it are very nice. It looks to be pretty thick. So we're going to jump in and give it a taste. Cheers. I will say that I believe the reviewer that said that the Indiana and Tennessee whiskey was rye whiskey. I think he's right. I tasted a bit of grass. Not a lot. It wasn't super strong. But there's definitely some grass in there, which is typically what I get on a rye whiskey. That was only sip one, though. And she's fresh open. So we're going to cleanse the palate and try again. Now, I believe I've brought this up before, but I'm going to ask again because I've heard other people talking about it recently. How do we feel about a neck pour? And I'm going to give you my opinion right away. I think the neck pour doesn't exist. I understand that if the whiskey sits there and you open it and you pour it, blah, blah. The neck pour, and I don't usually like stand on a hill and like, this is how I feel and you're never going to change my mind. But I think I'll have to do that this time. I think I'm on the hill and I'm not sure that I could be swayed. Neck pour doesn't exist because if there's whiskey in the neck and you pour it, the whiskey from the bottom, like you're getting, and you can just mix it, right? And I think what happens is people go, oh, I had a neck pour and it was terrible. It was awful. And I almost didn't drink it, blah, blah, blah. But when I went back to it, it was great. Had to get the neck pour out of the way. Or, and hear me out, or when you poured that first glass, the air got into the bottle and it helped, like it's been uncorked. So now there's air and there's things happening. There's science happening inside this bottle that I can't explain because I'm not a scientist. But that's like if you leave it sitting in your glass for a while, it changes. So I think the neck pour is nonsense. Please give me your opinions, your feedback. I'm, again, not a scientist. I don't science for a living. So if you have a solid scientific explanation for a neck pour, I want to hear it. I'm on board for it. Otherwise, let's go sip 2. The rice spice is still very prominent in there, but I got vanilla. There's like a sugar. It's not like granulated sugar, but there is a very sugary taste to it. And I assume that comes from the rum barrels. Don't know. What I'm surprised about is that I'm not getting the Cabernet barrel like taste. I'm not tasting any of the wine, any of the fruits, grapes, whatever. So I'm not picking that up, which normally on anything finished in like Cabernet barrels or any kind of wine barrel, that's pretty much all I can taste. What I will tell you is it is dry. My mouth is like the Sahara Desert. So we're gonna take a little sip. So I feel like I got on a whole high horse there about the neck pour, and that was not the point of this video. But it's been on my mind because I've seen quite a few other people talking about it, and I keep thinking about it. And I'm like, I don't think it's real. It's okay. Everybody's entitled to their opinions. And I don't dislike you if you disagree with me. So we're going to go sip 3. We may have to do 4 on this because that rice spice is kind of kicking my butt here. Now that nose was really sweet. That was almost like straight sugar. All right. Sip 3. That caramel came in really heavy that time. That sugary. It's got to be the rum. What I can't get past is so dry. The finish is trucking along. Like, it's still finishing. And there's some oak. There's the sugary, I'm going to say sugary spice, and vanilla. That rice spice is very heavy. There's nothing bad about it other than the dryness. It is so dry. But we're going to go sip 4 and see where we end. The rice spice held off a little bit longer that time. But it's coming in hot on the finish. I don't dislike it. I don't dislike it a lot. It's okay. I cannot get past that dry feel. And again, there's not been a barrel product that I've really ever disliked. And this one I don't dislike either yet. I say that because that rice spice is very strong. When I drink whiskey, I want to taste the flavors and, be able to enjoy the complexity of the whiskey. And that very last sip, I got hit right away with the sugary vanilla and caramel. And then it was just this explosion of the rice spice, and my mouth, it tingled. It was so spicy. And then it's dry. It's dry. There is a drought in my mouth. And I hate that feeling. I don't like that feeling at all. But that's okay because this is the first time we've opened it and we're not counting it out. We're going to reopen it again at some point. But today, this is okay. But for now, that is all I have. Go do something nice for somebody. Be nice to each other. And I will see you guys next time. Cheers.